Today is the first day since I decided to leave my 9 to 5 job, and I decided I wanted to make this video to explain exactly why I've decided to make this decision and what is next for me. So there was 3 main reasons why I decided to leave my 9 to 5 job. A lot of things happened in my personal life, and as you probably been watching this channel for a while, you'll probably know those reasons. Most specifically, losing my mother towards the end of 2024 was the most difficult moment of my life. She was terminally ill for a long time, and it was very challenging. And it has been for 2.5 years now, and I'm still learning to deal with that, learning to move on with my life. And during my time at this job, I was, looking after her a lot and spending a lot of time with her, and it reached a point where I felt this is not really getting me to where I want to be in my life. And that links on to my next point, which is a lack of fulfillment and purpose in my role. And this is a big thing for a lot of people that they probably lack in the modern world. When we work a lot of corporate jobs in offices, you will feel a lack of fulfillment and purpose in a lot of jobs like that. I'd say most jobs in particular. And I think this is very important because I think one of the most fundamental needs to humans is to feel a sense of importance in the work we do. And unfortunately, a lot of jobs where they are predominantly based in the office will not offer that, and they won't feel fulfilling to you. You won't see the fruits of your labour. Whereas even if you're doing something more practical, you're working a manual labour job, you will probably feel a lot more fulfilled and purposeful in the work you are doing because you are instantly seeing the fruits of your labour. You lay a brick, you see you have done that. You fix someone's toilet, you see that straight away. You fix their toilet. You sort out their electricity, again, you see that straight away. Whereas you're working in an office, you're answering emails, you're doing this stuff, a lot of the time you're not seeing that, especially immediately anyway. So that was a major part of that, and a lack of daily interaction, which I've mentioned a few times on this channel, that a lot of young people are not living very natural lives. Well, they're not living natural lives at all, and that has led to a lot of problems internally. I've seen with a lack of self-confidence, a lack of self-awareness, young people extremely anxious, a lack of knowing oneself, one's true beliefs and values. They are pretty much predominantly based from society and especially social media, where they have, heard and been programmed a certain way. And this is very bad, very bad. And I think for a lot of young people starting jobs like this, they don't really know how to navigate in an actual real world setting. And when they're being pushed more to work from home, this is only making them weaker in their skills, really. They are just learning, not a lot in terms of personal skills. And I think that's very important when you're building your career. You need to learn these fundamental skills, which our parents and grandparents just knew naturally, and they would be in these settings from 16, 18, 19 years old where they'd be interacting all the time. And a lot of people aren't doing that anymore, and this is, like I say, it's creating a kind of anxious generation, so to speak. A lot of people don't know who they truly are, what they stand for, if anything. So there were 3 main reasons for me why I decided to make this decision. It was not a decision I take lightly, and this is not a video of me, saying, all 9 to 5s are, a waste of time and you'll never get anything from it, and, I can do better than you, or whatever it may be. I've no intention of doing that. I just wanted to give my personal experience for you and for myself, to reflect on that, to give you some advice, maybe if you're thinking of doing something similar yourself but you're not too sure. And for the record, I have a lot of respect for the company that I work for, and I show great gratitude for my time, the opportunity there, and most importantly, how they helped me navigate the most difficult period of my life, which I'm still learning, like I say, to deal with now, and something that will be with me for the rest of my life. But anyway, what next for me? So I wanted to make this decision because I wanted to focus back on this YouTube channel because I felt that my energy was elsewhere with that job and a lot of other things that I had to deal with, and now I feel is the right time to step back up and take the channel to a new level and hopefully produce a lot of content that can be very helpful for you and I, and see where we can go, and just see and not put any expectations on things, because that's one of the worst things you can do, and something I've obviously done in the past and has not served me very well. And that's all I wanted to do with this channel, was to help you really, and say that life is not easy and we will all face challenges for the rest of our lives, and to kind of just explain every problem and experience that I have on a regular basis and say, okay, this is what I did, this is how I'm overcoming it, this is what you could do. If you were in a similar situation, you could do this without having to go through the exact same lessons that I've had to. You can, go through it 10 times quicker than I have. And that's, fulfilling for me. That's great. That's one of the best things I could do with my time, is help people improve their lives, help people have a better life. And that's exactly the mission of this channel. And another thing is to get back on top of my fitness. And again, I've not significantly slacked in any way. I've been going to the gym regularly, playing sports, being active a lot. But for me, having the gym as part of my daily routine is something that I really want to implement long term for the rest of my life. And that's exactly what I intend to do with my time now. And have some time for reflection, sit in solitude, sit in silence, think about how I truly feel, where I want to go next, why do I want to go there, ask these deep questions inside of myself that a lot of people will not do, a lot of people are afraid to do, a lot of people don't know how to do it. But I think it's important that we all take maybe one step back to take 2 steps forward, to maybe drop the ego. You lose a job that sounds good, has a decent salary, has perks and has status and all of this, to be like, okay, maybe I'll go work at a minimum wage job just to get by and focus on something truly more meaningful for me, and to take some time to reflect on that, because we all need to do this in this world where one thing is after another, and we are not doing this really whatsoever anymore. And this is sad, and obviously a lot of the time you have to think back to our ancestors. What would they do? Because they wouldn't be living this fast-paced life where they're constantly distracting themselves with one thing after another. So that's important for you to remember. And finally, it presents an opportunity for me to travel, and as I've mentioned, that's been a massive part of my life since I started this channel, and always has been. And I've always thought, if I can do my work, if I can record videos, if I can do some coaching online, if I can do whatever it may be, all I need is an internet connection, and I can be anywhere in the world. And some of the places I've said, going to Cape Town, going to Argentina, is exactly what I'm going to do with my time now. And this opens the door for me to do it for the next however long it may be. And I could do this for 6 months, a year, 2 years, whatever it may be like, you know what, I've tried this and it's not worked, so I'm going to try something else. But I've tried it, and I will live with that, and I can live with that quite happily. Whereas a lot of people I know have said, I fancy doing this, I fancy starting this business, I fancy going traveling, I fancy moving to this place, I fancy X, Y, Z, and they don't do it. And that's the main thing. Whereas if you do it and it doesn't work out, oftentimes it will actually work out a lot better than you actually believe. But a lot of people won't actually take the necessary steps for that to implement and manifest into their life. And that's a real shame, because a lot of the time it's not really as hard as you think. It's a lot more accessible to you than you actually believe. But you've got to break down those barriers. You've got to be uncomfortable initially and be like, maybe you're struggling for money, maybe you're struggling to make things work with your business, maybe you're struggling in a different place, but you have to just persist, and you have to be like, okay, I'll try this for 6 months, a year, whatever it may be, and be like, okay, it's not worked, I'll try something else. The worst thing is you go back to the place you were before, and that's where you were anyway, and time's going to go by, so you may as well just do it and see exactly what happens. And that's a big reason why, that's a mindset I have, and it's a mindset that I want you to develop. And for me, working my job, working a 9-to-5 job, there was a lot of ups and downs, despite it being prematurely ended, I guess you could say. And it took me a long time to adapt, and I probably never really did fully adapt to the kind of culture and mentality, especially in a corporate setting. I'm very much, I show my emotions naturally, whether that be good or negative emotions, and I very much say things how it is. If there's something I don't agree with, I would say it. And I saw a lot of people, maybe biting their tongue, maybe not being the people that they truly are inside of themselves. A lot of people, you could see they weren't really happy or fulfilled in any way with the work they were doing. You'd look around the office and you wouldn't really see many happy, smiley faces, and that's, at the end of the day, pretty natural. A lot of people do work jobs that they don't want to do and don't find fulfilling. I understand that. But like I say, I think everyone should have some type of exit route, and let that manifest inside your mind every day. Let that be something that keeps you going through those harder times when you're doing things that you don't particularly enjoy at the moment, but you know that this is a stepping stone to get you to where you want to be. And like I say, I don't think, maybe I probably wasn't cut out for that type of world, but I'm 100% happy with the opportunity I was given and getting that experience under my belt. I don't have any regrets on that, and I think even if I did, there's not much point in regretting it because it's happened now. I've learned a lot in a lot of different ways, personally and professionally. And it's probably a different type of video to you'll normally hear, where people would be like, saying how bad it was and I need to do something else. I need to escape the matrix and all of this stuff. But a lot of the time things aren't as bad as you seem. And I think the most important point that I want you to take from this video is that you need to take time for yourself to truly consider what it is for you that you want to do, and think how you truly are feeling, because a lot of time we don't actually know how we're feeling. And there's a lot more videos I make on this subject. I can say exactly what I've kind of learned. If that would be helpful, drop a comment, drop a like, do a video on what it's like to be on a grad scheme, how to get on a grad scheme, all of this types of stuff. I hopefully could be very useful for you. But that's my decision. I'm happy with my decision, and we'll see what's next. I'm very much looking to push on now, not looking to take a step back, and we'll see how it goes. And like I say, plenty more content will be coming soon. I'll see you in the next video. Like and subscribe. Take care.